can't imagine. I hope I never have to experience that.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, and you're just down and feeling wondering. I'm needed. I'm important. Let me act important. And it was hard because many a time we're like, I have no clue here. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know about you, but me coming up, I looked at those guys like, I want that.
Man, what's your catch of the day?
Go with a grouper.
Grouper's the king.
I'll do groupers.
And you know, the Red Bar buys its grouper from Harbor. You know, Oli there. You know, the
I'm gonna
band
go
is
sit in the
playing.
corner
Jabo's
booth.
in the corner. I want Jabo in
Being a
my
high
bar.
five.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
great.
gonna go sit in the corner booth on Friday night and just bask in the glow of my.
And wow, man, I saw the cash rolling in behind that bar.
Yeah.
And then I'm in.
I'm Drew Wooton.
I'm Robert St. John,
This is You Gotta Eat, the show where we eat.
but it's not necessarily about food.
To help us grow the show, we'd love for you to subscribe and sit at our proverbial table that we're setting. However, like and comment. That is the fastest way to get the almighty algorithm to suggest our video, and it could really help us out. And of course, you want to share this episode because Oli Petit, owner of the Red Bar, beautiful human. I love sitting down with him. How did we get this guy on the show?
You know, I've known Oli for a little while. I've been an admirer of Oli for even longer. And anybody who's been in the 30A area knows Red Bar. And if you're in the restaurant business like I am, you have admired that business from afar for a long time. It's basically a printing press. It's, you know, a very limited menu. And there are lines out the door, and people are happy to wait for an hour and a half, 2 hours in the summer. It's just a fun, good place. But what makes it that is you've got a great owner and a restaurateur who is Belgian and came here with his dad, who was a longtime restaurateur. And I think they were in Arkansas first and then headed into the Panhandle. That restaurant, when I was down in the Panhandle working for the second time, right before I opened Purple Parrot, 1987, that was a place called Paradise Cafe. It was much smaller than what the Red Bar is now, but there was no air conditioning, and it was a killer cool restaurant. But Oli will tell you what happened to that restaurant in this episode.
Yes, and you're right, he is Red Bar. That's why Red Bar's fun. We talk about it in the episode, but his personality oozes through that place. But we didn't eat at Red Bar because I think maybe it's a little bit confusing. This was our first episode we shot.
Very first episode, and it was in the summer. We're in the winter now. It's cold outside, but yeah, you're right. His personality is as big as he is. He's a big man. So the original idea of this show, we don't want to take up too much of anyone's time, but we figure
You gotta eat.
you got to eat. So we just tell them, you choose breakfast, lunch, dinner. You choose the place. We'll take an hour out of your time. We'll sit there, share a meal. And Oli chose Harbor Docks, which is where I used to work back in 1987. And he's friends with Charles Morgan, who owns Harbor Docks. And when you see the Charles Morgan episode, no surprise there, it's at the Red Bar.
And that was a really cool, unexpected thing because we had just, originally we wanted to do the interviews here and we go, well, we got to go to people. And then, well, how do we make that work? Do we need to rent a space? What do we do? I'm like, no, man, just do it in the restaurant. And then the fact that they picked each other without each other knowing.
Yeah, nobody planned that.
That's what it feels. I think people at home are like, oh, yeah, okay, they didn't know. It's like, no, they legit didn't know. And it was a really off-camera, sweet moment, them, kind of giving each other their flowers and being respectful. But yeah, this is a great episode. For me, as a kid going to Red Bar, got to share a formative story in my music career, a moment I got to share with my dad. And it was just really awesome actually getting to see the guy behind it. Because you go in that place and you go, dude, what? Who put this together? Like, who thought of all of this, And it's so wild to actually meet the guy behind it. And then it's so wild how much sense it makes now.
There's one thing, fans of the Red Bar know that it burned down. But one thing you're going to learn in this episode is how he put it back together. And if you know what that place looks like, it is just, there's stuff everywhere. And if you walked in not knowing that it burned, you'd never know. That was quite an impressive feat. And the fact that he wanted to go to Harbor Docks, which is where in the off season, when the coast is clear, that's where the locals hang out, is at Harbor Docks. And he chose that right off. And so we had a great meal with a great guy, and that was our first one. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, but you know what? I think it went pretty well.
Well, I hope that it comes across as fun, because it was legitimately fun, and it was cool for me knowing you for a while now, seeing you back where it started, Harbor Docks. We've filmed so much content talking about crab meat wontons, the mojo sauce, the bus sauce is fish shipped on a Greyhound bus, because it's the only way you could get it. It all came from Harbor Docks. This is where it all started, and it's a big part of what New South Restaurant Group became, which I think people look at as like a huge machine, but it was one person. It was you that wasn't like Oli with Red Bar. Like, it was you.
We're in a room with Oli that when I was waiting tables at Harbor Docks, Memorial Day weekend, Saturday night, there were, 10 or 12 tables in that room at the time. It's changed because the sushi bar's in there now. I had the whole section. It's like the craziest I've ever been. And it was something else. So I had a little bit of PTSD flashback being in that room. But Oli and you and your company and the great food at Harbor Docks kind of made it better.
Post-traumatic stress aside, I think we had a great meal. And the server we were told she was amazing. She's an all-star there. She crushed it, met every expectation, upsold us on a few things. And the sushi, man, we'll get into that. I don't want to give anything away. This is You Gotta Eat with Oli Petit at Harbor Docks.
Onward.
Such a good background and so photogenic.
Good choice choosing this. We let people choose wherever they want, and you chose Harbor Docks here in Destin. And the crazy thing, it's not crazy, it's a wise thing. Charles Morgan from Harbor Docks chose Red Bar, your place. So I think that's really cool. So that episode will be in your place, and we look forward to going there. But I don't know if you know or not, but I used to work here.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So
That's where it all started.
Yeah, well, I love that.
it really is. So I flunked out of college and started working in restaurants, and had been a waiter several years and wanted to open my own, and figured I'm gonna go to Destin. This is in 1987, and hopefully this is gonna be the last time I have to wait tables. And I got a job here. Still one of the best jobs I ever had. I lived at Sandpiper Cove, a 2-bedroom furnished for $500 a month.
Sure.
And, got up.
Love it.
Yeah. Cool, you're cool. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Got up at 10 in the morning, walked down the beach, come work lunch, maybe work dinner. It was, I had the stress level of this soy sauce there.
Sure.
But
Time and a place.
yeah, I loved it here. And this was the last time I ever, so far, had to wait tables. I went back to Hattiesburg and opened Purple Parrot Cafe, and that had a good run for about 33 years. Red Bar at the time in Grayton Beach, Grayton Beach was just a sleepy little, beach village, and there was a place called Paradise Cafe there. Who was the chef that ran that?
Yeah, a great guy named Johnny Earl.
Yeah, Johnny Earl.
Most talented chef.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy that was getting write-ups in magazine, national magazine. I think Gourmet did a feature on him in the late 80s or mid 80s, and tremendous success, yes.
There was no air conditioning in there at the time. It was just the front part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you added on the back.
Yeah, I did. As a matter of fact, when I came in, Paradise Cafe had been gone for almost 5 years. Paradise Cafe had relocated down the street at a famous Creola's restaurant.
Right.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And that was Johnny Earl. When I got to the location where Red Bar stands today and where Paradise was, it'd been 5 different incarnations. The landlord was sort of like every year putting in these different operators, and he was actually the same guy that every year would just change the concept. He had a French restaurant one year, a sports bar one year, a Mexican restaurant.
This is after Earl's left.
This is after Earl's left. This is from 1990, no, I'd say 1987 to 1992 or 93.
Yeah.
And this guy's from Fort Walton Beach. Charles knows him. The Bay Cafe restaurant. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
That wonderful restaurant that's there today. I mean, another institution very much like this one of the area. And that guy was a colorful operator. And that's how I found the location. me, who's there today, this guy hired me to be a waiter in his restaurant. I was living in Fort Walton Beach, on the island in Fort Walton Beach.
Really?
Very much like
Commuting
you.
over.
I had a friend who moved here with whom I work today. He's, with us at the restaurant, and he moved there to a family in 1990. So a little bit after you.
Yeah.
And I got here just for a summer to be a waiter.
And our mutual friend Kevin was opening his place sometime around the early 90s. His first restaurant.
That's correct. He opened in 1992, I believe.
Okay.
In Santa Rosa Beach.
Yeah.
Right there on 38. Tremendous operator.
That's also before anything really kind of got crowded out that
Well,
way.
it was the beginning of it because you had Crayolas.
Yeah.
That was getting national
Right.
attention.
Yeah.
Bud and Alley's as well. If you remember, Bud and Alley's
Oh,
in
yeah,
Seaside
absolutely.
with Chef Irv Miller,
Yeah.
who's in Pensacola today at Jackson's Steakhouse, one of the best steakhouse in the South, in the Southeast. And Irv, has been invited out. James Bears, a top-notch guy. So you had those two guys that were getting a lot of traction from a creative standpoint, farm-to-table concepts.
So this has always been my understanding of what I call destined cuisine, and to me, and I'm not. You can tell me if you agree or if my understanding of the history aligns with yours. I'll check with Charles later, but at Beachside Cafe, which opened in the early 80s,
Yes.
where La Paz is now,
Yes.
Charles's family's place. Beachside Cafe opened. They brought a chef from Baton Rouge, from Joey's, which was a fine dining restaurant, and that chef had worked at Windows on the World in New York in the Trade Center.
Yeah.
And when he came, he brought a bunch of, guys from Baton Rouge who were working in the kitchen, all my age. So at the time, they're in their early 20s, late teens, and they came in the summer to wash dishes, prep, cook, maybe a little chef.
Sure.
Johnny Earls was among them.
Right.
Kevin, I can't remember his name. Tim Crehan.
I was going to say Crean was part of that. Yeah.
Prescott Stewart. Who's got?
Today.
Hey.
Hi.
What's up, Lily?
What's up? It's good to see you guys.
You too.
So what are we drinking today?
I'm going to have a half and half tea and a water,
Absolutely, yes, sir. For lemon?
please.
Absolutely.
Same for me.
Half and half lemon?
I'll do a water and an Arnold Palmer,
Absolutely.
please.
Sweet or unsweet?
Sweet.
Sweet Arnold Palmer. I'll be right back with that for you guys.
Cool. Thanks.
Stu, what a team. I got it.
What do you do for starters? What do you get when you're normally here?
It's funny.
I didn't want to interrupt, but I just want to start thinking
good.
about it.
I know the spring
Spring
rolls
roll.
for sure. I mean, everything is just
No, his
well
smoked-
executed
his
here.
smoked tuna dip is like the gold
Honestly,
standard.
all the items are well executed there. The first time you eat here,
I've eaten here before. It's been
Okay.
a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a while,
Yeah.
though. So I'm going to follow. I'm going to trust
I'm
you.
going with spring rolls, and usually you kind of
Is
like
it the
them.
tuna dip, Robert?
Smoked tuna dip is the gold standard for tuna dip.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yep.
All right. So when you came here in the 80s, you're talking about him putting a team together?
Yeah, well, at Beachside, all those
did you work
guys,
with those guys? Were
and
you-
then they worked up through the ranks, and then they went off and opened
That's right.
Flamingo Cafe,
Right.
Marina
Prescott.
Cafe, Paradise Cafe, Prescott's.
Really, the infancy of sort of like the star chef thing. I mean, Tim Crean, Prescott, these guys were driving convertible cars.
Yeah.
Hair in the wind, young, fit.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but me coming up, I looked at those guys like, I want that. You
Yeah,
know, I want to
like
do. Yes, it
Your
was
Gordon
glamorous.
Gecko moment?
Well,
Like,
you know,
oh, man,
well,
slick
yeah,
hair.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of they were just happening and vision because passionate about cooking. At the end of the day, those guys would put in 14, 15 hours a day. Tim
Yeah.
Crean's one of the best chefs in town, in my opinion. I mean, this guy's
He's still here.
Yeah, it's on 38,
Yeah.
not far from us. Love what he's doing and very successful. Tremendous chef.
Really? That's cool.
So all these guys from Baton Rouge were working with a classically trained chef. Thank you.
Who was? Remind me his name. Him.
I can't remember the
It
guy's
was French,
name
right?
from Joey's.
Lafitte, not Lafitte. That's the.
Thank you.
I think
Yeah.
it's French guy.
Yeah,
wasn't
he was French.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and he gets a lot of credit.
Yeah. We want some smoked tuna dip for sure, and some spring rolls.
Spring rolls, yes, straws. Thank you, dear.
Thank you. Yeah, perfect.
But those guys all came from Louisiana, so they had classically trained background, but they had Louisiana
Yeah,
in their
flavor.
roots,
Oh, yeah.
in their
Yeah,
flavor.
yeah.
And so that combined with all the fresh seafood here, and to me, that's what I've always called
Someone works in
destined
the windows
cuisine.
of the world.
The head chef who came from Windows on the World to Joey's in Baton Rouge. And that was fine dining. And then all those kids worked for him, and he just kind of brought them down to work in the summer, and they stayed.
Yeah.
And Prescott Stewart was the opening chef at Purple Parrot, my
about
first
that?
restaurant.
So after
Do you know? Is he still around?
I wouldn't know, man. It's funny. I was talking about him recently. He was the most flamboyant one out of them all.
Yeah,
Right?
oh, I know.
Man, this guy was,
Yeah.
oh my God. And he loved to have a good time. And it was awesome. I mean, so much respect from a professional standpoint. But as we know, the restaurant life can be colorful.
It's a very
Yeah, I mean, it's just
diplomatic way of
it's a side of it that a bit like if you're in a music business. I like to compare it to that almost.
Same.
It's kind of like the cast of characters always can be very colorful, and if you stay
I've lost
focused,
track.
it can be great.
You mentioned music business. I've read up on you. We're both drummers.
Okay.
And I think it's funny that, my father's a drummer as well.
Okay.
I have a great, I want to get to the Jabo situation, the fact that it even exists. But do you find that most restaurant people want to be musicians? Because most musicians want to be restaurant. It's like no one's happy being an artist or a painter. I paint, I want to sculpt,
I couldn't agree more. I think there's a lot, and one in particular right now that's really one of my favorite restaurants is Keith McNally. Out of New York. He
No,
just wrote a book.
Balthazar.
Balthazar, not the
Balthazar.
other restaurant. And he wrote a book. I regret almost everything. And he says, Frank says, me, my deal, I was going to be a movie director. I want to be in a movie business. I tried. I released a couple of movies, but didn't stick. I love the restaurant business like most movie guys. I was a server, and I just sort of evolved into the restaurant business. I don't have that story. I was a restaurant guy all along. I did have a couple of fantasies of being an athlete. When I was like 14, I was a big guy, but once I realized I was getting blown by at 14, 15, I was
in
done with it.
Belgium, what would your sport have been? Rugby?
No, actually, where I'm from in Belgium, soccer, of course, cycling, and basketball, believe it or not, was around, but I don't know, it just did not catch on for me.
Drew's a huge soccer guy.
Yeah. Soccer
me
fan.
too,
Huge
man. I
soccer
still
guy.
actually played on Tuesday.
Really?
We have a group of guys, a pickup game, dude. I'm 56.
You need to come down.
Is Kevin De Bruyne the best Belgian player of all time?
Kevin, I mean, he's up there, man. Fuck. I mean, excuse me.
No.
But yes,
Let it fly.
I think so. Kevin
I
De
think so,
Bruyne,
right?
I mean, look.
The amount of titles he's
my
won
God,
and the mastery of the pass.
He's the total package.
Complete player.
He's an international player out of Belgium,
Yeah.
and we're this size, but we have produced over the years tremendous talent out of Belgium.
Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard for a while was probably your best.
This guy would have had the work ethic of the Bruyne.
Yeah, right.
I think he could have been probably the
Pies
top
got him.
3 in the world. Yeah, he's just a real partier and been trained and showed up. And the skills unbelievable.
Yeah, see,
You
soccer
like soccer,
drums, man.
You like soccer, Robert? Yeah.
I don't know hardly anything about it. Do you get offended when people call it soccer, though? Because my friend,
not at
I have a
all.
Dutch
No.
friend. His team is Ajax.
Yeah.
He's a
Jesse?
freak about him. Jesse
Jesse?
is
Yeah.
a freak about Ajax.
I don't.
Yeah, no.
I'm not that guy. No.
But anytime I say soccer, he corrects me. It makes him mad. Football.
Drew,
Robert,
makes fun of
I'm
our
friends
football.
like that too.
I came to the U.S. in 1975.
Wow.
With my parents, my mom, my dad, my brother. We all immigrated to America. And unfortunately, my parents divorced, and we went back to Belgium a year later. So from 1975, I was soaked in American culture. Absolutely fell in love. And if you will recall, in 1975, the NASL was the soccer league with Pele and all these guys.
Yeah.
And I happened
The
to be in
Cosmos.
America. Yeah, exactly. My dad liked soccer, and I was always into it at that age, and I have that memory of it, and he was called soccer. And actually, when I went back to Europe, I was thinking, guys, soccer. It is not football, it's soccer. Soccer.
So you're the opposite of Jesse. All right, Jesse.
That's
You
right.
heard it right there.
I fell
Soccer,
in love
not
with the
football.
culture.
I fell in love with the American culture, and I've always been.
The exception to
So
the rule.
pro- I mean,
yeah,
truly,
So what's your team in Belgium?
Liège,
Yeah.
Standard Liège.
Okay.
It's a European competing Euro leagues, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's the.
You're familiar with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, Euro leagues is sort of like you got Champions League, which is the ultimate soccer league, and then underneath it, there are 2 Euro leagues where the lesser team have a chance to play. And when you win those championships, the following year you get a chance to play in the Champions League, so it gives a chance to the little guy. Liège never done it, but
Where does Ajax
yeah,
fall
yeah.
in there?
oh my God, Ajax is a top European
They're-
powerhouse.
Really?
Yankees.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hear him talk
Jesse's
about
fine.
Yes,
He
well
said-
said.
Jesse's
He
fine.
says
Yeah.
Ajax can't keep anybody though.
Well, yeah.
They get good
That's
ones
right.
and then everybody picks them off.
Because
There's no
now
salary
yeah.
caps. In the no salary caps in soccer in Europe. So therefore, you definitely money talks out there. But there's teams like Ajax, Bayern Munich is one of them, where they don't do the big spending. They grow players from within, and then they sell them and grow their club team that way. And they're the ones that are more respected, I think, and beloved than Barcelona, Real Madrid.
That's how they raise
the
money.
The Yankees come in.
So who's your American football team?
Probably the Cowboys.
Oh, nice.
Little Rock, Arkansas. I mean, I saw Jerry Jones buy them. I was there in Little Rock in '87 when he did, made the news, and everybody hated him.
I brought some Crystal's hot sauce.
Oh, nice.
That goes very well with the yellowfin tuna dip
Good.
and shrimp.
Ooh, I love those chips, dude. Those look homemade.
Good, so good.
Yeah, these are.
We may know what we want to eat,
Yeah,
too.
I can do that.
Sure.
Do it, gents.
I'm gonna do a fish sandwich. Which one should I get? I want something grilled. Yeah,
Good. So,
something from the grill.
let's do grouper. That's looking really good. You said you want that grilled, blackened, or fried?
Let's go grill.
Let's do a grilled grouper sandwich. And then
Drew?
Man, what's your catch of the day?
we have grouper and swordfish. Both are looking phenomenal.
Go with the grouper.
Grouper's the king.
I'll do grouper. The
The red bar, I don't know if you know this, the red bar buys its grouper from Harbor Ice.
Yeah, I believe that.
Oh yeah, no. Us downstairs, we have a deal with Tony and the guys down there. Oh,
money
yeah.
where your mouth is.
No,
Literally.
they fish,
Quite literally.
Fishermen's drop offers, so you
That's
can't.
awesome.
Yeah.
There's no fish like Robert Off.
No. It's the fresh.
Grilled grouper then. That's
Absolutely.
perfect.
That'll go with
And
the
Robert,
rice and
you
cucumber
know
salad.
that.
You okay with that?
Charles
Love
is
that.
the best.
Love
Imagine
that.
these guys
Love
come in the morning.
Yeah,
Last but not least.
no doubt. Let us get a big poppy roll.
Absolutely.
We'll share. And then I'm going to get, because Dang is still here,
Yes, she is.
I'm going to get fried rice. She taught me how to make fried rice in 1987.
Oh my gosh.
And I took it back to
love
Hattiesburg,
that.
Mississippi in my first restaurant. So yeah,
Do you want any protein with that? I have chicken, I have beef, I have shrimp.
Shrimp.
Do you want to do a combination of shrimp and chicken?
No, just shrimp.
I love it. That's what I would do too.
yeah.
It's so good.
You have good taste. That's what
Oh,
it is.
I think y'all have good taste. How about that? I'll take those menus. And then do you want that
Thank you.
poppy out
Drew, she wants your menus.
with all of the food?
Say again?
Do you want the poppy out first or with all of the food?
Just whenever. All the food. Just whenever it's ready, bring it up.
Sounds great, boys. I'll put that right.
Thanks,
on.
Lily.
He's just talking about how, this is like actually real.
Y'all let me doctor this up.
Go
The,
ahead. Grab you one of these. Put your hands in there.
The fish you eat here could have been swimming last night. You
No,
said that.
it was definitely swimming last night.
That's crazy.
And I used to, when I first opened in '87, they used to take, because we didn't really have FedEx like it is now, but they used to take fish to the bus station, Greyhound bus station, pack it in ice, and ship it to Hattiesburg. For me, I was buying fresh fish from Charles.
Is that right?
I was
For the
buying
parent,
it too.
yep. For the parent,
before
or-
I could get the New Orleans. Nobody in Hattiesburg, Mississippi in 1987 was delivering fresh fish to Hattiesburg. We couldn't. I mean, there are tons of seafood suppliers in New Orleans, Gulfport, Biloxi. Nobody was, because nobody in Hattiesburg was serving fresh fish.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I called here, and we'd put in an order 2 or 3 days a week. They'd take it to the bus
Sure.
station,
Oh, awesome.
ship it to Hattiesburg, and eventually
about
we
selling.
bought enough that
Yeah.
the New Orleans folks started taking note.
Right. I'll grab this.
Same with this sauce, right?
Yeah. So that Thai
Mojo
chili
sauce.
sauce,
Yeah.
we used to have to give. There was a Thai market in Fort Walton, and they would put it on a Greyhound bus and ship it. And we still serve that in the restaurant. But I learned at Dang, who's still back there.
Okay.
She was here in 1987 when I worked here.
That's cool.
She's still here. She's the one that taught me how to make fried rice, stir fry, egg rolls. The egg rolls that we do, I learned here. Before I left, I was a waiter here.
Sure.
But before I left, I went back in the kitchen and they taught me how to make those things.
Best.
It's really cool.
This restaurant has always been, still is, still beloved and highly successful. What from this?
What makes a restaurant beloved and highly successful, in your opinion?
I mean, I think longevity, certainly, when you sustain the test of time, that establishes that, and then the continued care of the management. I mean, let's face it, it's only about the lead. I really believe the leadership is everything. I mean, Charles, since day one, and Charles is not here every day. You can be certain of that. He's created a culture that it just survives with him at the helm of it.
Right.
If not him. I don't think Charles has cracked a whip in years, and I hope he hasn't. He has people that do that. It's well managed, and it continues. And I think
I think Eddie, his son, who owns it now, is a great leader. He's that next
Yeah.
generation.
I think-
Do you have kids in the business?
I do. I work with the 3 of my 5 kids. In fact, tonight, will you see one of them? Not sure. It's between the 2 restaurants they work, and 3 that are committed to be in the restaurant business, and 2 that are doing other things.
Yeah.
So yeah, to my surprise, to my surprise.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've got a son going in the business.
Okay.
You've got kids in the business. Charles has kids in the business. There are a few people in the restaurant business, which is a brutal business, as you know, but for the people who are totally committed to it and passionate, and it's like you eat, sleep, and breathe it, then I think that's when it connects, because the restaurant bankers hate restaurants. And the reason bankers hate restaurants is because every Tom, Dick, and Harry thinks, well, I can go open a restaurant. It's no big deal. I cook a good steak in my backyard. My friends are telling me I ought to open a restaurant. And then that happens and people learn cooking a good steak in your backyard has nothing to do with running a restaurant. And they spent their retirement and they emptied their 401k and borrowed money from their father-in-law and all that stuff. And then they're out of business. But for the people who are passionate about it, I think it works. Would you agree with that?
Couldn't agree more. I mean, I think clearly, Judge, to get back to what you were asking, when you have those qualities, the being beloved and being comes with it. I think that's the focus, especially restaurants like this, like we do. Us, and I'm gonna speak for myself here, but tell me if you relate. I went to a restaurant, a location, and I just started thinking, that'd be great over there. I think that will be great over there. You fly off the seat of your pants a lot.
Yeah.
Just kind of trying to be creative. And sometimes it works beautifully.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can have just unhappy surprises. But by doing that, it creates odds that are against you, because preparation, budgeting, timing, those are important factors when you start a restaurant. And a lot of people, I think, get lost doing that. You go into a place with no plan, just an idea, a little budget, and you get in there, and next thing you know, you got a can of worm on your hand, you did little research, diligence, and you can have surprises. So, and those guys went to a bank and got a loan, and a year later, they're out of the game, and it gives a bad name to the more serious guy who's trying to get a dollar,
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Well, but did you also want to start a restaurant because you looked at a spreadsheet? No, you wanted to start a restaurant because you're obviously very good with people. You care about each other. It's probably not a coincidence so many people.
He looks up to his dad, who was in the restaurant.
It's about
business.
family, kids working with you. Look up to your dad. It's like the people come first. Otherwise, the restaurant won't survive the first year, much less 30 or whatever.
Couldn't agree more.
Right, and then you kind of have to reverse engineer, learn the numbers part on the back end, right? That's what I feel like is.
You are right, and this is precisely why the mortality rate or whatever is high. Because, and I'm not sure what that is. I remember back in the days, and I don't think it was accurate. When I got started, I used to hear, guys, 1 in 10 makes it.
Yeah.
So 90% failure rate. And I remember that stuck to me as an actor.
That's accurate. 90% of independent restaurants are gone before 5 years.
Yeah. That's a number. Anyway, so
That's
wild.
But it's because of the reasons we're stating there.
I think also the restaurant business, guys, is an unintimidating business. In other words, we all go out to restaurants. We go out to eat frequently. Pretty soon, like when you do something regularly, you start thinking, I can do this. And that looks kind of fun. Look at Robert running around his dining room, shaking hands. Oli there. He's,
I'm
the
gonna go
band
sit
is
in the corner
Jabo's
booth.
in the corner. I want Jabo in
Being a
my
high
bar.
five.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
great.
gonna go sit in the corner booth on Friday night and just bask in the glow of my.
And wow, man, I saw the cash rolling in behind that bar.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yes, those aspects of it are true. I guess to bring back the music analogy, you see the band on stage playing the music. I want that, but all that goes before you're on stage. A lot
Right.
of people say, man, I'm out of this lifestyle.
Guys.
That tuna dip. You were right about the tuna dip.
And the homemade chips and pickles. You're joking.
So good.
So, tell us about the Big Papi. That's is that your number one seller on the sushi? All right, come on in and tell us.
Absolutely. So what do we have in the middle? I believe it's like tuna, yellowtail, tempura. We have green onions. It's topped with avocado. Oh, yellowtail on top. We have jalapenos.
Right.
all the good stuff. Basically, it's everything you could ever want in a sushi roll.
Love that.
It's insane. I'm
Come on
gonna give
in.
it to you.
There we go.
Y'all better hurry though, because if y'all don't eat it, I'm I'll be right back with chopsticks and little dishes for soy sauce. Y'all want spicy mayonnaise or eel sauce? I find that eel sauce complements
I'm
it
good
very
with
well.
soy, but they may want something.
Soy will work for me.
Yeah,
just
soy's
that.
fine, yeah.
Thank you for offering. Yes.
Thank you.
To my knowledge, this is at least my read, and I think Charles has backed me up on it before, but if you look at, I think they started sushi in the early 90s, maybe 92, 91, somewhere in there. They didn't have sushi when I
They
worked
introduced
here.
it. Yeah, pretty much.
There were hardly anybody. I bet you may have had a place in Atlanta in the early 90s doing sushi. It hadn't really hit the South at that time, and to do it here in the Panhandle, they were definitely the first.
This is where Charles
In this
showed-
area.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
And
thank you.
Yoshi is the one that
Thank
started.
you.
I don't know if she's back there now, but
I'd like to ask
Thank
Charles
you.
that how his first exposure to sushi, and I'm certain he said, "Wow, I'd like to serve that in my restaurant," because I guarantee he loved it.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had that. You go to a restaurant, you see a concept, you go, "Wow, I could interpret this. You know, this is inspiring." And then sometimes you go, "Well, I got enough on my plate. Forget about that idea." But I'm almost sure Charles fell in love with sushi, and then probably met Yoshi.
Yeah.
That lady is an institution. I mean, she should be protected by the
And he's got
government.
At all costs.
Yes,
Yeah,
she's so
yeah.
kind.
and he's got
warm.
sushi in all his restaurants,
Yes, it's become his trademark, you know, and
Yeah.
no question. You know.
and it's good sushi.
I've tried to do sushi in one of my restaurants, and I had a horrible experience with it.
Really?
Dude, that sushi.
What's
is
hard
not-
about it?
It's not a production-friendly item.
Right.
Yeah.
Sushi can put you in the weeds, man, unless you got the killer guy. And Yoshi's a killer, man, and she has guys around her. Me, when I did it, I had a good sushi chef,
Yeah.
but he was slightly temperamental. And when we got real busy, he just kind of would like some chef.
What restaurant did you do that in?
What
Louis
today?
Louis?
No, it was at it was called the 331. It was one of my, it's today a very successful restaurant at the foot of the 331 bridge. When you
Okay.
drive south on 331,
Yeah.
you cross the Chapter, the Bay Bridge
Bay.
there. Right on the right side is a restaurant called Farm to Fire.
Yeah.
today.
That was
Super
it?
successful. Me, I was there in 2003, Robert, when nobody crossed the road out there. They put a bar out there. I was there for 5 years, man, and we struggled, you know.
Yeah.
And then fortunately, they widened the highway. And eminent domain in Florida is real. You know, they actually pay you for your real estate and for your business.
So
if
the
they're gonna-
state took you out?
Well, we were not successful, so it's not like we made a lot of money out of it.
Yeah.
We did get a little bit of money, paid off our debts, and we were out of there. We were pleased to be out of there, I'll be
On
honest
the
with
wash, yeah.
you. We worked our tails off. You can imagine, I'd done kind of like a red bar. It wasn't called a red bar, but had elements of the red bar. Had a ton of chandelier in there. Charles loved that place. Matter of fact, he told me he got inspired. I'd been to New York at this restaurant called Tavern on the Green.
Oh, no, yeah.
They have a crystal room out there, dude, and it's
Yeah?
like,
I'll get in there.
Baccarat. This is back in the 90s when I went out there, because they've kind of gone down. They had a room called the Crystal Room, and it had all these chandelier in it. And I'm thinking, cool. I'm going to try to do something similar. I think I bought like 150 chandeliers from all sorts, you know? It was a disaster.
Are you able to go to restaurants and enjoy yourself? I feel like it would be hard. Like I do videos, so it's hard for me to watch a movie or a show without going like, wait, how'd they do that? All right, I want to do that myself. You know, can you like sit in a restaurant and go like, okay, this is cool. I don't need to. I'm not working. I'm off the clock. I imagine that's difficult for
While
anybody
you're chewing,
that's passionate.
if you're like me, I'm a better customer in your restaurant than I am in my restaurant. Because I'm in my restaurant, I'm using restaurant eyes and I'm looking all around. When I'm in yours, I'm just in awe.
Well,
is that how you are?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, it's true that, especially when you go to a new place,
Yeah.
you can't help but kind of scan things and look for details, perhaps, from cleanliness, who knows, little things that. But overall, you want to give a chance and you want to go in there with a relaxed mind to and see what they're doing. And, you know, mistake happens, you know. So, you know, clearly, as a matter of fact, last time my brother and I went to dinner at Fleming's. We love Fleming's.
Yeah.
It's a chain, but man, you can't beat it right down the street from where we live. I don't know if you've eaten out of Fleming's.
No.
It's a good steakhouse, man. Fleming's a well-run. It's owned by the P.F. Chang'a family.
Yeah.
So
Where is it?
It's right in Sandestin.
Okay.
It's in the mall out there. And it's been there for about 15 years now. It's one of their, whatever, not original stores, but it's been a long time. Well ran. And, and we go there, I won't say regularly, but we love going there. We love coming here. I eat with Yoshi. And it's been a while because I drove an hour to come here. because I live on the east end
Yeah.
of San Rosa Beach, so we don't come here as much. But this is what a lovely place. Sit on that deck of a day at night, sunsets, magic, and many other places. You know what restaurant I love is where Prescott's used to chef at Flamingo Cafe. That's called.
What is that now? Is that not Marina Cafe now?
No, it's called a Beau Shack.
Yeah.
That's
I've been there. I ate
Yeah,
oysters
well,
there.
Good job, the chef Andy Bell. They're a talented guy, good chef. He really works very hard, and
Marina Cafe's still here.
Marine Cafe is still here. Yeah,
It was here when I was here.
Yeah, I worked there. Yeah, I worked with Tim Crean.
Did you?
That's my first introduction to. Actually, I worked in Destin, where McGuire's used to be an Italian restaurant called Vaccaro's. If you remember that.
I don't remember
He's an
that.
Italian guy out of Dallas. He had a big Italian restaurant there. Kind of a crazy restaurant guy, a shouter and a yeller.
Yeah.
And then Crean hired me, man, and I worked for him for almost a year. And dude, that is my guy. Tim Crean is my number one chef. Yeah.
I've seen him in a while. We brought him to Hattiesburg and we did a featured chef dinner at Purple Parrot years ago. I need to look him up and say hey.
He works, dude. He's not, because he's had also some ups and downs, and I know
Yeah.
he's in his restaurant working. You'll find Tim Crean in his restaurant. He has one unit, Cuvée 30A.
Cuvée 38, he's in there now, right?
Oh yeah, and Tim is out there working great wines, great. So he's such a passion. This guy, in the early '90s, we would bang out 500 dinners a night at Marina Cafe. We were making our own sun-dried tomatoes.
Wow.
There wasn't a dressing in there that wasn't made from scratch. Every dessert, every sauces.
It was awesome.
Oh, guys, we are.
We'll catch up the day.
Oh my.
Already.
I'm gonna put the tuna right here. There you go.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow,
There it
look at
is.
that.
Oh, Mama Dang. She killed it.
Thank you. I'll let you do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Love it.
Appreciate you.
How good that all looks.
That's amazing. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Cooked to perfection.
This is killer.
Some refills in order. I'm just gonna do another round for everybody.
Yeah.
Just
Perfect.
Have them hold. I know the ice melts too.
Thank
I
you.
got you.
That's
Perfect.
sweet. Thank you.
Thank
Good.
you. Appreciate you.
See, I love that. The ice melt. I tell that to my staff often. Say, guys, you got time. You see the ice, bring in the fresh one. They're gonna ask. Grab the table, plop, you swap it. People are gonna go, oh. But of course, you slammed. You don't have time. But Ritz-Carlton service, I love it. I love Ritz-Carlton service in this environment. I believe in it so much. I think it's so important.
Ritz-Carlton is where the whole My Pleasure thing came from.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A picked up
Sure.
on that. Chick-fil-A took, the Ritz-Carlton deal. And are we good on all that?
Yeah. I'll just make sure it's focused.
No problem. Excuse me. I take a lot of room. Hey, Drew, did you play soccer? Were you a soccer
Yeah,
player?
huge soccer player.
So what level did you make it to?
I played college.
Okay.
So
okay.
I
College
played.
is
I played.
beast.
I played competitively. I just, growing up in Mississippi, it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I envy the kids now. They get to watch English soccer on.
Familiar
on
with Jackson
TV.
Prep? Jackson Prep, yeah.
Yeah, we played
That's
them. I went to PCS in Hattiesburg,
Those
so
good.
we played Jackson Prep.
One of
They
my good friends coached them,
They're good.
Jay Lyles.
Really.
And the coach there had like some kind of record. 11
Yeah.
years in a row, state
Yeah.
championship on the prep, because I know there's different.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's
nice,
crazy.
nice kids, Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
far, so good, everyone.
Oh, it's excellent.
Oh, I love it.
I played soccer my whole life. I
Yeah.
loved it. Perfect.
Yeah.
I never made the team, dude. Kind of sucked. There's always guys that were better than me. But I love the game, man.
You're good.
I was there.
Yeah, I love
I
it
did
too.
never quit, man. I was one
What
of
is
those guys. Sometimes the sport you realize but so what? You still go out there and play. Be
Still
part of
love
a
it.
team. That was me. In Belgium, we had a team. They were awesome. I mean, we had guys. A couple of guys went on to play in first division, and
Really. Oh, thank you.
I rode the
Appreciate
bench.
that.
The 5 years that I play, I rode the bench for 5 years. But hey,
It's something about being on a team.
yes.
I miss being on a team. I tell my son that all the time. Like, dude, he complains about football practice. I'm like, going, hey, do all your shirts match? Because someone made sure you have a uniform. Someone makes sure you're eating before the game. You don't have to worry about transportation. They're gonna make sure a bus is there for you. Like that. As soon as you're done playing, that stops.
And what you can explain to kids that age is you're not always going to have this.
No.
And it's just like when your kids are young. When your kids are young and you're crying and you're rocking them and you're thinking, oh, man.
Somewhere the child when
Eventually, you're going to miss that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the child, unfortunately, in most cases, he's not able to process that, and he's kind of going, kind of ready for it to quit it.
Yeah.
Sure, Dad.
Yeah.
I experienced it too, man. My kids were all in sports, but at some point they just burn out on it. And I was like, And quickly understood.
They all grew up here?
Yeah.
Went to school here?
Two of them
South
grew up in
Walton,
Arkansas.
In Arkansas?
Two of them.
Do you remember a restaurant called Paul's? I guess it was called, a guy named Nick Apostle,
Okay.
who was my original business partner at Purple Parrot. They had a restaurant in Little Rock in the 70s. I think it was called Paul's. There was a Greek family, and they did really well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Paul's, but maybe not.
I don't know them, but I'm sure my father would because
He definitely
Yeah,
would.
yeah, exactly. Did they stay in Little Rock? Or are they still there? You still in contact with
No,
them? Or?
they closed it. He had a couple of restaurants in Jackson, and then he followed Highway 80. Had a great eye for real estate,
Okay.
and had restaurants in Atlanta and I think Shreveport and a group
So,
of.
I don't mean to interrupt. This is
That's
Oh yeah.
It's a good call, the
Flakes.
grouper.
You eating
I'm
flakes?
saving my grouper for tonight. I'm getting grouper at Ollie's place. So Red Bar is like, to me, and most of the people I know in the restaurant business, is like the pinnacle of where, I mean, it's like everything you would want. Like, I don't covet a lot of people's restaurants. Red Bar, I mean, it's swamp busy, it's fun, it's casual, it's got 5 items. Is it 5 entrees?
It is 5 main entrees. Yes.
5 main entrees, maybe a feature.
That's right.
Do you do appetizers? Yeah, how many appetizers?
Probably 5 or 6.
5.
Gumbo. Good
Yeah.
gumbo.
Yeah.
Good tuna dip. Actually got a good tuna dip.
But, most of us feel like we want that size menu.
right.
But, I feel like I've got to have this and I've got to have this, and it grows and grows and
That's
grows.
ballsy, man.
It's so much more efficient, so much more effective, and people are lined up to get in.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to. It's like if you told what's a restaurant you would love to own, Robert, it would be Red Bar.
I'll take that as a great compliment and thank you.
And I bet most restaurateurs who know of Red Bar admire what he and his brother and his dad have done. It's
Thank you for saying that. Yeah.
spectacular, outstanding, really, for restaurants.
Well, thank you. It is a concept that works there and has worked well, and the name of it is the Red Bar. So the original idea, it's a bar.
Yeah.
It's just a bar that evolved into a restaurant,
Right.
and just like the simplicity of it, really evolved from catering to a bar crowd. There were pool tables in there, a full bar, live music, rock and roll music. And me, I'm a chef by training. I was trained in fine dining and always worked in high end. And so the idea was that you take some of those elements in the preparation of food without, and prepare food to the guy that's shooting pool. I mean, literally. And then from there, the pools became a problem.
Yeah.
The people
How's a
came
pool
to
table
ignore. Oh
work
my
out
God, they lasted a year.
Yeah, yeah.
And after, 18 fights and a guy that was taken to the hospital because he was bleeding, nothing like a drunk man with a stick in his
Yeah.
hand, That's really what
could
it
go
got.
wrong?
Yeah. It's a gentleman's sport in some country. In the U.S., for some reason, unless you got some good security watching it, it can turn ugly. Pool hall is just the way it
You
is.
familiar with the movie Roadhouse with
one of my
Patrick
favorite
Swayze?
movies of all
Okay, all right. So,
At one point,
You don't
I
wanna
wa-
live it,
listen,
though. You
at
just
one
wanna
point,
watch it.
I wanted to put a chicken wire. I swear to God.
Like Blues
Because
Brothers.
I wanted to
Yep.
create an atmosphere.
Yep.
It just kind of like, because Red Bar, I really wanted to be a local bar based on music of local, because there still is a ton of local music out there. And my idea was that, to promote a bar atmosphere with music and all the accoutrements. But when it's time to eat, I could go make you a nice little chicken pane or black and grouper, or I made them crab cakes. I would make them,
And you have music every night. Right?
to this day, 7 nights a week.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I will never
He's
forget.
been talking about this
Yeah.
for 2
Oh,
days.
I've been like so excited to tell you this. So my father's a drummer, teaches at the University of Southern Miss in Hattiesburg.
Okay.
He knows every drummer ever somehow. And so we walk in, it was still Piccolo's and the Red Bar at the
Before the
time.
fire, yeah.
Yep, this was a while back.
Yeah.
And I'm a kid, and I see him, the band's playing, we get seated, and he starts looking like something's wrong on this. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong?
How's everything
He's looking.
Fabulous, right?
Very
awesome.
good.
Oh, it's
so fresh.
good. We made such good choices today. Really, everything is
Thank you.
Thanks for helping.
absolutely. It's my pleasure. Y'all need anything else like napkins? You want extra sauce? You want? I don't know, like $1 million.
I'm okay. $1 million is
Yeah, we'll
great,
take
but
that.
Yeah. You have that. That'd be
I'll
great.
go work on that. I'll try my best. You know what I mean? So
I think you could do it. I think you could do it.
You know what?
I think you can make it happen.
Never say never.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So he's looking, he's going, like, something's wrong. He's looking at the band. He looks at the drummer and he goes, that's Jabo Starks. And I'm a kid, I don't know. Like, what does that mean? It's Jabo Starks. He's the drummer for James Brown. And I was like, what? What's the drummer for James Brown doing? Like, I never would have thought he would be anywhere. We'd have access to him. How did you get Jabo? How did that start? Because he played there like every night. He played 4 nights a week, maybe?
5 nights a week.
5 nights a week.
22 years.
For 22 years.
22 years.
How'd you get that? How did you? That's crazy.
I tell you, there's a wonderful story behind it. The music started out the rebel with a guy named Jimmy Gillis. He's a jazz guitarist. He used to play at Bud and Alley's
Yep.
in the herb garden out there.
Right.
Play for tips, sit on his guitar and just play these jazz melodies. And this guy, the Petit Gray, lived in New York. Played with Charlie Parker. I mean, he's 70 years old, back in the early 90s. Yeah, he's played with Buddy DeFranco, one of the best clarinet players in the world, who lived in Panama City, recorded with him. And me, I'm a fan of jazz, always have been. I love music, you name it. I love it all, you know. So I'm going to see Jim McGillis. We become friends. I open the Red Bar. I'm going with rock and roll. I got my rock and roll buddies that are playing, you know. And Jim McGillis comes and says, hey, man, remember me? You came to, you know, how about I come play during dinner?
You had
Is that
jazz
that
band
one?
last night.
Right. That's the house band. That's one of the members has been there since that time when Jimmy Gillis came in, because Jimmy knew a guy named Chuck Schwartz, who's a saxophonist, who's still there today. He should be there tonight, although he's been dealing with some health issues. He's 81 years old, still plays, you know. And Chuck knew Jabo. Jabo lived in Mobile, Alabama.
Yep.
And you know, I don't know if you know the pedigree of Jabo. Recorded with Bobby Bland, two of the most important blues albums of all time. One of them is in the Smithsonian, one song, Stormy Monday Blues. Stormy Monday is in a Smithsonian. The Bobby Bland version's in the Smithsonian as one of the Great American Recordings. After Bobby Bland, he goes with James Brown, who likes what he does with Bobby, steals him from James, records with James all the great albums of James Brown from 65 to 75, Sex Machine, all that stuff.
That's the peak.
From 75, James' thing falls apart. He goes and plays with B.B. King. Records 2 albums with him, amazing albums, Double XL and Lucille Sings the Blues. Black cover, amazing album. Jabo's top to bottom on those records. And after that, it dries up. No more gigs. No more. The funk is out. The blues is out. The 80s come in. It's all synth music. The blues makes a comeback with the Blues Brothers. But Jabo is forgotten, man. He's driving a truck. He plays in church on Sunday. That's it. Occasional gig with Chuck Schwartz, saxophone player from the Red Bar, who says, Oli, the band is smoking, but I know this drummer. He could come play on the weekend, Friday and Saturday. Like, great, let's do it, Chuck. And he's got a pedigree. Right, who? John Starks. And me, I'm a fan of James Brown. I love James Brown. I'm a student of that kind of music. All that. I couldn't believe it, man. Like serendipitous, the good Lord says, you love music, son. You got this cool venue. Nurture this man right there who's been a little neglected. And man, he went from a Friday, Saturday gig. Within 2 or 3 years, that restaurant is just killing. I said, Jabo, you ain't driving no truck no more, man. Get you an apartment in San Jose Beach. You're going to come live Mobile, been married his whole life. Go back to Mobile Saturday night to play in church on Sunday. Come back to work on Tuesday. Play 7 to 10 o'clock, 5 nights a week.
Wow.
And he played till he died. 2 weeks until he passed away, Drew.
That's crazy.
It was beautiful, man. And
something like that too. I like to think about, like, I'll never forget that moment I got to have with my father explaining to me, because I thought it was Clyde Stubblefield. He goes, well, yeah, Clyde Stubblefield's give the drummer some, but there were 2 drummers.
Correct.
And then there's all, it's like, it became this musical history lesson. And then we had this cool moment where, like, you never know what could happen. We're just on vacation.
See,
like, how many people do you think had that experience because of this serendipitous?
that is an extreme level of connection with a customer. I always say what we do, earlier when we were saying about, the longevity and such, is that when people celebrate their birthday, that's their birthday. All they're celebrating us. We're hosting them.
We
We're
get to be a
happy
part of
and
their
be part of
lives
it.
in that way.
Damn, it creates, dude, especially if that birthday was memorable, they had a good time. That night, they'll never forget. Oftentimes, I'm sure you've had that with someone, you couldn't hardly remember when that night was, but they say, you were so great to us that night. And you go, yes, this is what I do. So those impacts are so tremendous. And in this case, you with your dad, who's a professor of music. So imagine that man, the ears that he has, and for him to pay the respect to Jabo. And that's what would happen with Jabo. With him being re-exposed to music, when I tell you I can, and I don't want to start rattling names of music stars that knew that Jabo, I'll take one. Colonel Bruce Hampton. I don't know if we're familiar with that. I know you're a music fan, you like the jam band. Bruce Hampton used to come, I don't know how many times he's played with the band because he was such a fan of Jabo. The song Turn Your Love Lights with Bobby Bland, you know that song, you've heard it. The Blues Brothers covered it. It's a super fast R&B track. And that was the song that put Colonel Bruce Hampton. He said, when Jabo hit the bells, he told me this, when he's in the song, he drives on the ride and he hits the bell a lot, and he goes from the ride to the bell. Ding, 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 ding. And it's a bumpy, jumpy little ding, 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 super fast with the right wrist,
choppy.
And Colonel Bruce says, that's what made me start. And this guy is Frank Zappa, you name it. I mean, Colonel Hampton, months in music. Keith Richards more known than Colonel Hampton, but musicians I think will respect probably Hampton more than Keith Richards because he's just such a purist, So
Do you ever sit in?
no, see me, I'm not a drummer. I love the drums, but just don't practice them. I got a kid at home I've had for 30 years. I like AC/DC and U2 and big sounds, and not play 15 minutes 3 times a week. So my band is a world-class band. And you start that stuff playing drums with the band, you never stop. You start playing drums with the band, my ego's in check with that now. There was a time I probably would have liked, this is my chance, but
You know your limits.
man, these guys, plus I don't want to start, you start it, you can't stop it.
Right.
And me, I just don't play enough and respect the instrument enough, I feel. But I should be out there, hey guys, and I know they would love it, and the crowd will probably have. Who knows, when the customers stop coming, I'm like, hey, I'm playing drums tonight, come watch me make a fool out of myself. Probably get an audience for that, sometimes you got to muster a business.
Hey, it's his place, let him play.
It's Tuesday night, come see Oli make a fool
So
of himself.
I know you're a married man now, but the legend is the drummer always got the girl in the band. Is that true?
I would know, I would know.
No.
That's not true. Jackson Brown says that.
You're too busy moving gear. Now, if you're at the level where people move your
tell you
gear,
what,
maybe.
I
I
was
was always moving
I was
gear.
told
But at least you're not moving a Hammond organ.
those
Those that had to move the B3 were worse.
Yeah.
cannot trust Jackson Brown. So I'm saying that's a false right there,
Shots fired,
Jackson
Jackson.
Brown, he was pushing the heat to the drummer. See,
That's what it was. That was, look at
can
this
you
hand,
imagine
see what-
Jackson
see what the
Brown
others do.
after he was done playing that guitar with that look?
it.
I don't think the drummer had any chance with him,
No,
I
that's
think that song was
What a
Rosie.
guy.
yeah.
And the drummer swept that girl away. That was
Yeah.
That's probably true because it is for me personally, it was always the show of it. I like the show of the drummers. I like these showy drummers that are flagging you. And Jabo was all complete opposite him. He hated flaggers. He always said, just like this thing with Clyde Stubblefield. He was a little bit of not resentment, but Clyde got all the credit, the funky drummer, the sampling. Although they've sampled just as many of Jabo's songs because Jabo recorded, I think, 400 songs with James. And some of them the most sampled in hip hop, But the funky drummer, that one has been sampled literally millions of times. That break in it, that beat in it has been stolen by so many of them. And Jabo, in a way, and him and Clyde were best buddies. Clyde came to the beach many times, played. Matter of fact, I'll give that to you tonight since you guys are fans. I have a double CD, man, with Fred Wesley, the trombone player for Jank for all these years, that came and played with Jabo a little bit before he passed away.
Wow.
And we recorded it live at the Red Bar.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually have 3 CDs live at the Red Bar, So part of my fantasy of a restaurant guy, so I
Right.
can be the musician.
Right.
Let me house the musicians,
Feed them, have a good time, get to connect.
Yeah.
I think that's what everybody's looking for is connection. And with all the memories that you have in Red Bar, how hard was it to have to build back after the fire. I imagine that's a pretty formative moment in your life.
That, before you answer that from a restaurateur standpoint, to have what is like the worst thing you could ever imagine in your business, an unintentional fire. Like anytime something burns, and people are always going to do an unintentional fire that wipes out the whole place. But to have the resolve and the ability to build it. If you just skipped 2 years and went back in the Red Bar after it looks the same. And of all the restaurants that would be hard to replicate to make it look the same, the Red Bar. I mean, everything, how you did that is important. Talk us through, like Drew said, those days from the time you first got the call. Hey, this thing's on fire.
Yeah. I mean, life has a way to, to throw curves at you, and that was definitely one of them. I mean, February of 2019, the place is on fire. We get there at 4:30 in the morning. It is engulfed. That beautiful building, built in 1939, was built on stilt, so it was 30 miles an hour wind that day. I mean, we're lucky Grayton Beach didn't burn down, to be honest with you. Firefighters did an amazing job, And us, you stand there, it's like, it sounds a little cliche here, but surreal moment. You just stand there, you're just trying to process.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, all of us as men, we all envision situation in our lives where you kind of want, although I never envisioned the place burning down to the ground, but like, it's another chaotic situation. Let's say a hurricane. Or let's say something, that you could kind of, for us, it's always hurricanes. And you kind of think, if I was to face something like that, I'd want to be dignified and be methodical and be protective of my family and be proactive and not, And we had a terrible hurricane in Panama City the year before. Hurricane Michael destroyed Panama City. You can still drive in Panama City. Still some destruction out there. So Red Bar burns in 2000. I did a lot of this now goes through my head. I'm standing there and I go, believe me, you want to go in a fetal position. Yeah. You want to go, where's my mom here? I want to be,
Can't imagine. I hope I never have to experience that.
And Robert, we're all the same cloth. It sucks, and you're just down and feeling wandering, a lot of uncertainties. Yeah. But resolve once more. I think humans were great that way. Sometimes the rest that we sometimes perform the best. I mean, one of the few species, right? You hear a fire, you hear a child, you're going to go run in and save the child. I mean, not many people. Humans do that. You save people, you save situation. And I felt a bit like that. So I'm needed, I'm important. Let me act important. And it was hard because many a time we're like, I have no clue here. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Was there ever any doubt you were going to come back?
Oh, no doubt.
You knew you were.
Yeah, because we are.
Did you own the property, or were you?
Yeah,
you own the property.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
How was did the town rally around you?
Oh my gosh, amazing! I'm back from a promotional standpoint or marketing standpoint. Having your restaurant burned to the ground and you rebuilding it like it was is an incredible impact, had an incredible impact on the community from the standpoint of like, thank you. Who does that? Right. We thought you were going to put a 2-story thing with a rooftop deck and do some other thing. And you brought it back like it was and you made these efforts. I can tell you that right off the bat, we were back and people were going to make sure that we survived, if you will, just by, not to mention at that time, there's the COVID-19 and Florida. COVID doesn't exist.
So
imagine.
Insane. Yeah. You came back in 1920.
Came back in 20, the summer of 20.
Summer of 20, during COVID.
When everyone is shut down. We're shut down here too. We just reopened. Here we shut down in March. And by May, the census, or end of May, the census would say, hey, little restrictions here, put a little plastic. We had little plastic divides, keep 50% of the seating, We have to keep 50% of the seating. I mean, opening night in there, the whole world. And as you know, especially Floridians, they just didn't buy into it. I mean, it was crazy how people, I'll be honest with you, we were because my mom lives in Belgium. People were dying over there. I was afraid. I mean, I was really on the fence, but we were also under stress financially. I'm not going to lie. It was almost like, Lord, please don't let me make a deal with the devil here. Right. Are we supposed to open or not? There's a COVID going on out there. Yeah. And my staff, everyone was like, boss, you want to do this? We're behind you. And I say, all right, let's do it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it was actually so bonding at a memorable time now with on site. I look back at it, I guess, like anything, when you process everything and you you look back on it now as an experience for me and do it again. But
So good. Mama,
branded me a little bit like, wow, this guy's a survivor and they're
Gentlemen,
mean
what was the
business.
best bite of the day?
I'll say the service personally, and then close second.
Dude, I should have said that.
Close
I did
second.
not think of
A
that.
close second,
All right,
the egg
you
roll,
win.
that sushi. Boys, the sushi delicious. Thank you. You know. And,
Yeah, sushi.
No, everything's so good. You know.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm gonna put mine in the box. You know. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want a box for all the grains of rice?
No, I'm good. I'm full.
Back to like that. Do you want a box?
Yeah, I do.
And do you like that sweet chili sauce?
Oh, yeah, I do.
I'll get you a side to go.
Yeah, you notice there's no fish left.
The protein. Stay with the protein.
How many of the team members came back when you
Maybe.
reopened?
I
Did
cannot
all of
say-
them come
I
back?
cannot say 100% because thankfully some of them,
Yeah.
you know, we took care of some of them. We have the other restaurant, Louis really came in great help. You know, we have
Right.
4 miles away from there, another restaurant. So I'd say about high 90%.
That's
came
awesome.
back, which was the key. At opening night, Robert, I've never had, and I've had, how many restaurants have you opened, pal?
26.
Wow. So you know, in opening a restaurant, all restaurateurs will agree it's just challenging. It's difficult. You know, to train and all this
It's the
stuff.
hardest thing you'll ever do.
Hard, man. It really is.
1,000 things can go wrong.
And the owner takes it on, especially us, the privately owned thing where it's all feels like you take that pressure. At the Red Bar on opening night, Drew, I tell you, man, it was like we had never left. Because we rebuilt it exactly like it was.
Except the kitchen.
Well, yeah.
The kitchen and the coolers and stuff, man.
Thank you. Exactly. It was for the cooks. They came into the line that they knew, but not brand new equipment, water spouts over the thing, but everything new and improved, if you will, since we were building it from scratch. So clearly an opportunity there. You know,
Yeah.
we took. You know.
That thing is built to pump it out. And,
Yeah.
and when you've got 5 entrees and 5 appetizers
Can really
and
focus,
the
you know.
kitchen to produce, you can pump it. Man.
Yeah, you can really focus, you know. And then there's no question that, you know, that's part of our model. And if you look at the way food is going today, we're kind of going back to that. Look at the most successful hamburger chain out there,
Yeah.
In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out is back to one size drink.
Yeah.
3 items, a couple of secret sauce thing, and clean open window. I love their format. That long building with the open window, drive through. That's super efficient. Take Chick-fil-A. I mean, I admire these guys so much. I think that model. Of
So you
closing-
were ahead of the curve. You were ahead of the
I
curve.
inspired myself after that because me, since I was cooking for a bar crowd, you're there with your friends, you're a little hungry,
Yeah.
Drew, you got a couple of guys.
Yeah.
I would make you a burger, I'd have a burger, but I'd say, hey man, you want to try a chicken pane? It's got a little fettuccine alfredo on the side, I'll make you a little salad in there. Why not? Next thing you know, the guy's out there shooting pool, drinking, he's eating like a meal prepared by me with a ton of care.
Yeah.
And from there it evolves into more of a restaurant, as I said. But that blackboard was to be erased on a daily basis. I literally would go to what's today Winn-Dixie. It was called Del Champ at the time.
Yeah.
And I'd go grocery shopping out there. Larry, who's now the best fisherman out there in Grayton Beach, was the fisherman here. I said, Larry, you got 5 pounds of grouper for me? Yeah, I'm on my way to Bud and Alley's because you needed to buy at least 20 pounds minimum for them to deliver you.
Right.
And Larry, who knew me, would drop me off 5 pounds of fresh fish for that night, 10 orders. So, and that kind of a approach.
That's cool.
And then it grows into the restaurant. And that board stays because at that point, that seems to be working. It was not a planned thing from the get-go, I'm having a board.
I think that's the key. It's organic. Because if somebody tried to go open a Red Bar somewhere, it's going to seem contrived and planned, and they're going to miss at every opportunity. But when something happens organically like that, you just can't. I look at it really, Ollie. You have no idea. Like, I'm a student of restaurants. This is I don't hunt, I don't fish, I don't play golf. I love restaurants. It's what I do. And I got like a PhD in this stuff.
Well,
And-
you're a
and-
master.
And you check all the boxes,
Well,
but it's happened.
love
It's
it.
happened
Believe me.
organically.
Thank you, Robert.
And it's truly amazing. You would want to try to figure out what's the magic here, because to me it's magic.
Yeah.
And it's everything. That's not one thing. The food is great. The service is great. The atmosphere is fun. It's casual. There are more people there, and when you have people draw people. and it's the place. I love that you say in Grayton Beach, the community's behind you. Because I've often thought when I'm there, I was like, what do they do with this traffic? I mean, are the people upset with Oli because he's got all this business, but they backed you? You hadn't had problem with the city?
I mean, we started off in a very difficult way with the
Yeah.
bar. Imagine I'm going till 2 a.m. man.
Yeah.
That's when the fights and the pool tables.
pool
and the
table
stuff.
and problems in the street. The neighbors actually, we started off with a very difficult relationship. Within periods of time, we realized that we loved being Grayton Beach. We realized that the neighbors were not unreasonable. So we just evolved into reducing the bar and growing the restaurant just once more organically it evolved that way to where the restaurant became more important. And we actually close at 10 p.m. The Red Bar closes at 10 p.m. every night and 11 p.m. on the weekends. And occasionally, 4th of July, big weekend in the summer, it'll go till midnight. We got a DJ that comes in when the band stops at 10.
Yeah.
The DJ plays from 10 to midnight on the weekend. Sometime 11 is done,
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. It devolved that way into more of a restaurant, or evolved into more of a restaurant. And the neighbors appreciated that. And as we've made great efforts in cleaning the street, we've had cops in the street to do traffic. Now we've evolved into transportation. I don't know if you noticed the shuttle system that's in Grayton Beach, and that's been the
It's
game
the
changer.
only restaurant I know that is so successful. The city had to create a transportation hub.
No.
You're going to be humble and modest,
well,
and you're going to take that away. You will not talk me out of believing the whole transportation
Just
hub
sometimes.
and city and tramp is for Red Bar.
Well,
in the Grayton Beach.
And clearly, that
Impressive.
servicing because it's considered downtown there.
Yeah.
And helping the downtown businesses is definitely part of it. But also, it is a public access beach there.
Yeah, true.
And it is the largest public access beach on 38. Grayton Beach is.
know that.
Yeah. And
Can you still have vehicles on the beach?
Yes.
They have
Yeah.
to be permitted.
Yep, exactly. So with all the problems, I'm sure you've heard about, they're having, this has made national news. Property owners that refuse people to go on their beach. They're closing the beaches.
Right.
And some of them have the right, some don't. It's been very controversial. People pulling gun on each other, shouting matches, police involved, So it added another layer of how important it is to cater to the tourists to be able to go to a public beach. And yes, a big restaurant like the Red Bar, across the street from the Red Bar is another successful restaurant called Sharingo. There's a art gallery across the street. There's a gift shop. So it's a whole community there. So clearly, we started actual transportation. I don't know if you know this, Robert. We started it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we bought a shuttle in order, to be proactive with the neighbors.
It was the parking where it is
I
now.
was renting, I was renting from the cash and carry store with whom we're good friends, and he has a huge lot there on the north side of Grayton Beach when you get to the four-way stop sign or stop light now, and the staff and our customers, we would have the system with arrows because it's kind of like got to make a couple of left turns to get there, and we started shuttling people, Robert, in 2016, I believe, 10 years ago almost.
How long did you do it until the city took it over?
Well, the fire, that's when they started it.
Okay.
A lot of good food.
I'm going to
We
put...
do have key lime pie or white chocolate bread pudding for dessert if you guys care for it.
I'm stuffed.
Stuff.
How about one piece of key lime pie, 3
Just for
forks?
the bite, yes. I like that,
that's
yeah.
3 forks.
Oh, sorry, I drew. Put that right here and then let me
Thank
put
you.
my box right here.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. So yeah, no, the shuttle thing has been a game changer for us. Game
Yeah.
changer. And now the county does it. As I said, after the fire, they jumped in and I bought these incredible shuttles that were the same that were used in Disney. According to the guy that supposedly $200,000 shuttle, and they look the part, man.
They're nice.
They look like a safari thing with an open thing. It blows air conditioning, but yet it's an open thing.
Beautiful.
I mean, it has a look to it,
Wow.
absolute dynamite. And us, we have it looks like what you see in resorts, a whitelist shuttle, 14-seater, little door. And we've used that thing a bunch of times for birthday parties with my kids. And sometimes we like to go play paintball. We'll put the whole stuff in there and get a little crazy.
Everybody hop in.
Yeah.
So, a 25-year-old kid comes to you, says, Oli, I want to get into the restaurant business. You can't talk me out of it.
Yeah.
What's your advice?
probably the biggest advice is be prepared to sacrifice personal time. Be prepared to give up personal time to get started. And then after that, make sure that you have a concept that can be exploited. I mean, want to be fine dining? That's a wonderful, but be prepared to, fine dining is ultra competitive. You want to
It's also on the wane a little bit.
I mean, you have to be really committed. I think, the ones that are doing it are the chefs that are, it's getting more and more difficult now, I think, for chefs to not be behind the stove, People are kind of being a little, although they're very successful, Gordon Ramsay, many of them Michelin stars all over the place, When you're chef oriented, I don't know, I like to know the chef at least stops by once in a while, not just his name on the door if I'm going to pay. So I would highly recommend it. It's a wonderful life. I think the restaurant business really offers to people an alternative to the life that we sort of brought up to live, 9 to 5, which is wonderful. Thank God people are willing to work 9 to 5. Thank God that people are willing to be very structured. And you are very structured in the restaurant business as well. But there's a side of the restaurant business that, for me at least, the glamorous side of it, the exciting side of it, the creative side of it, also, if it can feed your ego. I mean, if you succeed, people, isn't it a part of it for guys like us? So. You could have bought a McDonald's franchise, and by now you probably could have 100 of them. Yeah. Me too. My dad at one point was saying, should we get into the franchise business? And I said, Dad, probably, but I'm not that ambitious. It's a lot of work for that too. Yeah. You want to be in a franchise business? It's a lot of work. You don't just put a franchise. I said, stick to what you know. Us, we're like tailors. We make custom-made suits, and we make a few a year, and our stuff is, it's kind of like unique and special. You want to go see the Purple Pear, once you want a Robert's restaurant, there's one of one. It's not a chain. Yep, you have chain management mentality. I know I do. I try to run my restaurant. I tell my guys, corporate, guys, but with a family edge. Corporate with a heart. But let's be
with a soul.
That's right, with a soul.
Of all those things you named, the creative part is the part that gets me the most. You got to do all the other stuff, but the creative part of the restaurant business, and you obviously, you and your brother, I know a lot of that came from your father, have been extremely creative in coming up with that. This is what in my opinion, I'm not saying this because he's here. If Jill were here, she'd tell you, I admire that concept. Like, of all the restaurant concepts out there, there's just something, there's a magic at Red Bar that just is so enticing to someone who's a student of this stuff. And it checks all the boxes, Oli, man. You've just,
thank you.
The merchandising, the feel, the atmosphere, everybody's comfortable in there. Everybody wants to be there. It's special.
Thank you. And you saying that really means a lot, and very much like I'm a student of the game, and I feel like I've taken a lot of ideas from different places and kind of put them into that
inspiration. You've been inspired.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you, and I know you go to New Orleans. Are you familiar with a restaurant called Port of Call?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Port of Call is...
The burger.
Yeah. Port of Call is my revelation. In 1990, we went to see the Stones at the Dome.
Yeah.
And someone took
I was there.
Were you? The Steel Wheels Concert, 89, Living Color.
Yeah, I was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
I waited in line overnight to get those tickets.
Yes, we were lucky. We gave him the ticket. Then we went to Pat O'Brien, discovered Pat O'Brien, and then we went to the Port of Call.
Yeah.
And people sitting outside making these big drinks in the cheap, inexpensive, the burger, lights hanging, unassuming, wood everywhere. It was revelation. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
It's like the best in town, for sure.
Thank you.
Spoons. I was about to say, I'm going to take everything out of the way now that I know everything's in a box and it's going to a nice safe room.
To you,
Thank
so
you.
You don't have to come across.
Is anyone going to eat the rest of these big coffee?
I'm not.
No.
That's it for me.
Yep.
That's it.
Stuff.
And I'll be back to collect the two.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
So, surely you go to Snug Harbor.
Yes, I have.
The same Port of Call and Snug Harbor.
Okay.
So if you never want to wait in line at Port of Call, Snug Harbor's the same burger, except with jazz.
Right.
That's one of the best jazz clubs in the South. You've been to Snug Harbor.
Yeah.
Snug Harbor's on the
It's on Frenchman.
on Frenchman. Yeah, from
It's
Frenchman.
the best jazz club in the South.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Next time you go to New Orleans, let me know.
That's
I have a place down there about 2 blocks from
really?
Frenchman. You're welcome to stay there anytime.
You do. What about that?
Anytime.
You
It's
know,
all
my wife
yours.
and I, it's our little plate, little stepping out of town with one little culture, whatever, you know, and we like to go to Monteleone, and we usually check in on Friday, come back on Monday,
Yeah.
oftentimes check in on Sunday, come back on Wednesday. That's more what we seem to do the early week. And so good to know, Robert. I'm going to take you up on it, you know? Yeah, you know, you might regret offering that to me,
Never,
but
never,
I'll do my best. I'll tell my wife, not this time, honey. No, we're not. No, you're not doing this to me. No, not in Robert's house. No.
It's yours anytime.
You go to Snug, you might
That
see
means
a
a lot.
Marsalis brother.
Yeah.
That's what's so crazy.
Delphio Marsalis plays with a big band in there on a teeny stage. He's got about 12 pieces in there. It's
And
killer.
if you look at the Red Bar, in a lot of ways, a lot of these places in New Orleans are an inspiration for it. You know, I'll pass that one to you, pal. And an inspiration from that, the sort of clubby. And if you look at this place, I mean, Harbor Dock, to me, I could come in here with my posters and my team and transform Harbor Dock. That's what you need. You need a restaurant with the bones need to be good for what I do. You probably could do it in a strip mall. My father actually had a restaurant in a strip mall in the late 80s in Little Rock, did very well, an Italian restaurant called Piccolo. And he had that team, he had stuff on the wall, you know, and he was a strip mall, but did not have near the soul that something like this has.
Character.
That's correct. Look, Red Bar has tremendous. Yeah, that's how we rebuilt it. It was good. It was a good building.
Well, after meeting you now, and having been to Red Bar so many times, I think the reason it is successful and people gravitate towards it is because it is you. You talk about the
100%.
soul. So now it's cool to be able to put a person to the place.
Well,
Where you go, like, I've known Robert for a while, you go, okay, no, I get this. This is him. I could almost see the decision making in like what's on the wall even. It's the same with you. It's like, oh, it's you. That's why it works. It wouldn't work the same with a McDonald's.
You know-
if you bought a bunch of McDonald's, you don't get to be you.
well,
You
clearly,
know?
that's when the approach becomes different, no question, you know. And I think you'll agree on this. All of us will. Another cliche, but the team is at the end. The end result is the leadership, and then creating that culture where people want to buy into the leadership you provide. And I think that's true for anyone that wants to grow, especially if you want to have more than 5 employees. You must create something that restaurants are. Let's face it. I don't want to say they're a dime a dozen, but you want a restaurant job. They're out there, man. Us restaurateurs.
Everybody's hiring.
We're always hiring.
Everybody's
you know?
hiring.
So you're a worker. If you don't, at least for me, that was always the way I viewed it, you know, until I opened my own. It's like, I better like what I'm doing. I better feel respected, and I better feel like I'm going somewhere. That's why Crean was so great. I worked for Earl's also, you know. I learned from I stole all my recipes. I'm not embarrassed to say. I'm not steal them, but I was taught those recipes, and I
You were
expressed-
inspired.
Correct, you know. And I think at the end of the day, that's what I would also recommend a 25-year-old. Make sure you got a vision of what you're going to serve, the food that you want. Like me, it was never any doubt I was going to make an entree with a protein, a veggie, European style, where you sit down with a fork and a knife and you eat an entree. That's what, you know, and that's what I did. It worked very well.
That's the passion. The passion comes out.
Yeah.
So, but culture, you talk about culture is top down. The only way to develop good culture starts with the leadership. It's you and your brother, and that culture filters all the way through. If the leadership isn't there, the culture's not there. And I've been on both ends of that. As you know, we've talked about a lot.
Right.
I went through a period where I was kind of just checked out and focused on other things, and our culture dipped. Once I plugged back in, it's
Absolutely.
question. You're growing up in Belgium. It's your birthday. Your mom says, Ollie, I'm going to make you whatever you want for your birthday.
Yeah.
What is that meal that you grew up eating, your favorite meal from your mom?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. And I serve it at the restaurant. The chicken pane. That chicken pane is a dish my brother and I grew up eating. And she would sometimes do it with chicken, and then oftentimes with a lower cut of beef that would be pounded out, egg wash, breadcrumbs, fried in olive oil. And then she'd make a little tomato salad to go with it. In summer, perhaps, you know, in the winter, some potatoes to go with it. And that dish to this day, I mean, as I said, it went on my menu because I grew up eating it, and to this day, she makes it for me. Amongst many other things, my mother's an exquisite cook. I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
Only a great mom, the loveliest mom you could ever dream of. But on top of that, wonderful Italian. 'Cause my mother's Italian, is Sicilian, full-blooded Sicilian. So we are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're raised in Belgium. My father married an Italian woman. My grandparents immigrated to Belgium after Second World War.
Wow.
Yeah, my grandfather migrated to Belgium to work in the coal mines. Yeah, coal miner for 22 years. Yeah. Wow. Closed them down in '63, I think. And me always knew my grandfather's sick, with a lung disease. Yeah. That's kind of a tough people.
How far is your hometown from Ypres?
Less than an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a chef and owns a restaurant there. His name's Robert Van Egan.
Okay.
Great guy.
Yeah.
His restaurant called Pacific Island.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Belgium is one of the countries in Europe that a lot of Europeans will tell you eat better in Belgium than anywhere else in Europe. Because tourism, and it's changing, there isn't that much tourism in Belgium. It's always been professionals and people that live there. With all the political stuff that goes on in Belgium. So the restaurants, Robert, I'll tell you a level of, you could be in a train station and there's a little restaurant there, literally with, and that food, there's a guy back there that's he's so qualified and he's making it something exquisite. Sandwichery, you name it, the level is absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, we're so spoiled. Belgians, so spoiled.
Pretty much ground zero for World War One. I mean, World War One was right there, and that was just a stalemate for years, where the landscape just got totally. It was just mud.
That's right.
It's just both sides just bombing each other, and nobody's making progress.
Tremendous, and tourism has grown actually tremendously because of World War One and World War Two. Aficionados that like to retrace, and there's a ton of a lot of wonderful American. The Battle of the Bulge, famous Patton advance. That was right Liège. The Bulge, is an area in the Ardennes region, which is a mountainous region. It's called the Bulges because they're just very old mountains, very round mountains, very, very, wooded area. And Liège is 30 minutes away from there. And growing up, I mean, you visited the site with school and the reminders, and nice to see people coming in, Americans that would come honor, their fallens, and thousands of Americans died.
And that was the coldest winter on record until that time. I don't know if it's gotten colder since then, but that was
very well.
Battle of the Bulge.
By the way, very well represented in the World War II museum in New Orleans, which is great. By the way,
Isn't that great?
Oh, I love that museum.
You've been there.
Oh man, I love that stuff. It's fascinating to think that we could behave like that, did that to one another. In Belgium, my goodness, the country's so laid back, sophisticated. These poor people never saw it coming,
Well, good on you for spending your entire life behaving the exact opposite and taking care of people and making sure we all get to have positive experiences.
Indeed, absolutely. And fortunate to live the American dream, which is still alive. The American dream's a real thing. It really is a real thing to come here and do something. It's possible today, and many of my friends envy us just living here. And we don't even tell them how good we have it sometimes. Now some of the internet's hard to hide it because Europeans live very well, but they're just the opulence. It's all there, just not as opulent. I like to think as in America, So they can't quite wrap their heads around having a 8,000 square foot house and stuff like that. They just kind of like, how y'all live over there? How's this possible? It is kind of freaky even for Americans, but it's out there on 38. Look what they're doing on 38. Blows my mind that my neighborhood is 30. Literally, they've sold closed a $30 million house in Dallas Beach. 30 mil, guys. I mean,
really?
Yeah. Just closed. I'm told last week a new record. And we have more.
I think I saw it from the road. Is it the one with the really tall?
Not sure.
Something massive in there.
Alice is so great. I mean, I love those communities. Are so beautiful.
Yeah, you're talking about the American dream. The restaurant business is one of the few businesses that you can get in, and there's so many people who started as a dishwasher or a prep cook or a fry cook, and who have worked their way up. And you and I was a waiter.
Yeah.
You were a server.
Yeah.
I mean, it just.
You bet, Me, I can say it because I'm a child of the restaurant business. Since my father was in it, I grew up in it, and at first didn't really show the interest, but then quickly, my father made it interesting without pushing it on me, but he would come home, tell interesting stories. We would go for our birthdays, and he worked in fine dining. He worked in a casino restaurant in Liège, in Spa. And that was just always full of these stories. And then we went to America. And there I was sold, man. When we got to America, we got to Little Rock, Arkansas. My father was hired to me, he owns the place. I'm 6 years old, you know. We're on the 30th floor of the first commercial building downtown Little Rock. The bank had built this tower, flush with money. Let's put a restaurant on the 30th floor, a la Windows of the World.
Yeah.
Really was, I think, inspired by that in a way, because even that tower had looks of, it was a 38th story tower, you know, and that restaurant was on top. And my dad's the maitre d' out there, French chefs, Louis XVI furnishings, and here we are. We're in America. Yeah, that's my daddy. You know? Oh my God, I was in, man.
That's awesome.
I was in tuxedo. He looked like, for a minute, I thought, because I'd seen a James Bond movie, and I thought my father, could there be some kind of 007 thing going on there? He goes to the restaurant, but it's a front to go be a mysterious agent. You know, it leads to the back door.
That's awesome.
It was so wonderful, you know. And America just really hit hard, you know.
Well, man, thanks for sitting down with us. This was
absolutely. I go all day, you know. So hey, tonight, you guys rolling in tonight. So you got your spot there, right?
Yes.
So you're in the back room. You go take that.
I love how the episode just ends kind of awkwardly because Ollie's so concerned about us setting up at Red Bar that night for Charles's interview. So we batch shot these. I mean, we made that no secret about that. But I think it shows his character, like, you know, he's just concerned about everybody. You okay? You good? You know, and we've seen that with every restaurant person so far, that they are so overly concerned. Are you okay?
He's the consummate restaurateur. I mean, he really is. And Charles, who we did the next episode with, was there making sure we took. So it happened that way. And, you know, he is what we call in the trade a hospitalitarian. And some people have it and some people don't. And Oli has it in spades. I mean, he was just a natural at this. And I know his dad probably had a lot of influence on that, but you've either got it or you don't, and he had it. And so his dad had good stock with which to work. And the fact that he built it back like he did and was able to, I mean, his attitude about that, like, that's the worst thing that can ever happen to a restaurant. And thank God it's never happened. I've been in this 45 years, 38 years as an owner, and thank God it's never happened to me. But I've always wondered, you know, people are going to think you do it on purpose, you know, and all that kind of thing. And the community rallied around that business. And I think a lot of that had to do with him, because the neighborhood gets packed because of that restaurant. And he's dealt with that well, and he speaks to that, and he spoke to that.
Well, my sister-in-law, Jessie, her kitchen burned and been out of business for a couple months, and it's
about to open up.
But you see it from behind the veil, and it's not nice, you know. I don't think I'm speaking out of school. Like, she puts on a brave face and gets on with it, but it's not.
Oh,
it's not something you wish on anyone. It's
the worst that could happen. I mean, you can buy more equipment and you can, you know, do things, but, you know, we have photographs on the wall like he did that just can't be replaced. A lot of my family and things like that. So maybe now that I'm saying it, I need to get copies of that stuff, but I don't want to jinx myself.
Well, this was awesome. What I loved most was he called me by name several times throughout the show. And like you said, first episode, everybody's been very polite. But when I sit down, you know, people might know me in Hattiesburg, but outside of Hattiesburg, for the most part, I mean, they have no reason to know who I am. So they're kind of like, oh, okay, cool. You know, this is going to be fun. You know, you're the video guy, kind of that look, I could tell. And it was really sweet, though. You know, him and Frank Brighton was like that, too. Just like, man.
Hospitalitarians.
How are you doing? Hey, making sure you're part of the conversation. And, you know, it was really cool. So I have a lot of respect for Oli, and we're also both drummers and soccer players, so maybe that's why we got along.
There you go. He's got to be a pretty big presence behind a drum set. He's a big man.
He reminds me of McCartney's drummer.
Yeah,
You
Abe
know?
Laboriel Jr. That guy is great.
Yeah, I imagine they have similar styles.
As much as I love McCartney, I've seen him 3 times with this lineup. And as much as I love McCartney, I spent half the time watching Abe Laboriel Jr. He's the one hitting the high harmony too.
Yeah, that's right. He toured with Beck. And we could go on a whole like side quest. This is what I liked about this episode too, is how much we spoke about music. You know, that this is more what I had in mind as far as like what the show can be. Is it can be about anything, whatever you're interested in. It's not necessarily a food show. And that's what You Gotta Eat's all about. So make sure you like and comment. It helps the algorithm suggest this video. It helps us grow. And of course, subscribe. But we appreciate everybody for watching. And thank you for all the we've gotten a lot of nice feedback, people saying they love it, and it makes you feel good.
We're having a blast. Onward.
I love having a show. I love having a show.